Dong, 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 dong. That's the music that we adjusted. Hey, what's up going on, everybody? It's the Brothaspeak Podcast coming at you, talking about Black LGBT issues and topics. Wait a minute. Black LGBT issues and topics. I'm with my co-host,
Darnell.
And this is Chris. We're missing one, but that's okay. A little bit under the weather, so he's here in spirit. His name Ricky.
Miss you, Ricky.
All right. So how's your week going, Darnell?
You know, my week's winding down, of course. It was a pretty good week.
Okay. All right. Well, what made it good? Any more dates? Oh, what?
A date-ish.
Wait,
Question.
What?
Have you ever done the friends with benefits thing?
Oh, many times.
Of course you have. Oh, my God. Of course. Well.
What made you think?
Well, Chris, not all of us have.
Wow. Oh, my God. I can't believe you started off that one. But that's a good one. That is a good one.
I didn't do it until this week. And
I'm
so glad my mom doesn't listen to the show.
Oh, my God. Wait a minute. Okay. What made that happen? Who put on the first move?
Well, it was like we went out like one time.
Yeah.
And we both know we're not in a place to really have a relationship.
Yeah.
But, like, I haven't gotten laid in a long time. And he hadn't got laid right in a long time.
Oh.
So, you know, and I like to get to know a person before I
Wait. Okay. How long y'all know each other?
Like over a month now.
Oh, what the hell? That's not friends. Y'all still getting
I know, but like we're not like we're not dating.
Yeah,
or
you just basically
in a relationship or anything.
Friendly.
Yes, we're
very friendly. You up that friendliness.
We were
about
exactly
50%. I believe.
And I was worried because once you cross that line, you can't uncross the line. You know.
Well, yeah, it takes a while. It takes a long couple of years.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Okay,
so I didn't want to do that. Yeah, so I crossed the line, and it was. It was great. I'm not gonna lie. I had a fun time.
People are now. Okay, I want everybody to know. I'm looking at Darnell's face right now, and his face is lit up like a damn light.
Oh my God!
But you know what? Okay, it does work. I'm not gonna say it doesn't. It actually works beautifully. I've had that. Let me tell you.
Listen, the biological impulse to do it is very strong. All right, I'm only human.
Oh my God. Okay.
So,
listen.
Yeah.
Listen. I'm with you. I do not. I'm not gonna bash it off. I know I've had some. Whew, Lord Jesus.
Wow, you're coming back.
I'm like sweating a little bit because I'm in a relationship. I'm sanctified now.
I don't know. I think there's something to it because you don't have to.
You're not accountable to nothing.
Yeah.
But here's a little warning sign.
I know.
When you realize that you are single, and you're still doing your thing, I get it, but not in front of them.
Yeah.
That's I guess it's a mental thing. Seriously,
right? When
you are out with your friend, and yet you're admiring something else, somebody gonna catch some feelings.
Exactly.
Somebody gonna catch. Let's keep this shit real. Somebody gonna catch it, and when that occurs, just be prepared.
I know.
Have a good discussion. Talk about it. Because sometimes you can talk about all you want to. Shit don't change, but just talk about it because sometimes the people are pleasing you.
Right.
Just be careful.
Be upfront and honest.
I've been in that tons of, and don't get me wrong, I felt some type of way too. Oh, that's how it is.
Oh, that's what you're talking
to. That's what you like.
Right.
And mind you, we're not in a relationship. Right. It's like, well, I didn't think you felt that type of way. It's like, and then, it kind of opens up some things. And sometimes you try to make that situation turn into a relationship. Right. That shit don't work. Well, it worked one time. It did work one time with me. Right. But other than that, majority of the history,
I do wonder what'll happen if, like, at some point I want a relationship with somebody that's not him. Like, how do I cut that off?
And how would you explain that to your partner?
Right.
Like, would you?
I would hope I wouldn't know. because I wouldn't explain in detail like what I did. What do you mean? Like if I brought the guy around
Let me tell you
my
something
partner?
about gay people. Let me tell you. Yes, let me tell you about gay people. Will ask some questions, and especially if you are dating that person. You're dating that person. They're gonna say, "How'd y'all meet?"
You know, sex is pretty open with gay people. Like we're very
until you get into a relationship.
Yeah, until you get a relationship, then you don't want to talk about it at all.
No, you're right. You're right. It is open, but I know for a fact that recently I had to ask some questions. Like,
who's that?
So how'd y'all meet?
Yeah.
You know, it was like something that it came up because, you know, I felt some type of way, you know. But mind you, when the shoe's on the other foot, that's the same situation, you know. So it's just that thing. But how could you possibly introduce that to your partner? Oh, we used to do our thing back in the day. Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. That could not, no. I'd be like, this is my longtime friend. I don't know, we met at Build-A-Bear. Like,
oh my God.
It was perfectly innocent, you know?
Wow. You really would not say anything?
No, how awkward is that?
I've had to. I've had to.
You just had to be honest.
I had to be honest. But, you know, in the previous relationships we've actually been honest about previous relationships like that. Wow. So we've been honest and say, well, yeah.
That's very adult of you.
After a while, you kind of say, because anybody who knows,
right?
You know how everybody is. So.
Well, even with this guy, like I have a fairly busy life. Yeah. Like a few times this week, I hung out with some friends and we grabbed dinner or whatever. And this guy's like, "Oh, you're seeing that friend a lot."
See, people watch. People know. Listen.
I had to like pull out pictures of this guy and his boyfriend. I'm like, I'm not attracted to him. I don't want anything to, like, he's, you know, practically married. Like, there's no... Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, my weekend was not as...
How was your week?
My weekend, honestly, I spent a wonderful time with my relationship. I definitely had a good time with Lazaro. You know, one time we went out and just hung out with some of our friends. Yeah. One of my friends just invited us out. We had a nice little dinner. And then actually, we, you know, had a good time together this weekend. Just spent some quality
cuddly time.
Watch little, Django. little rerun of Django.
That's how you unwind, watch Django Unchained?
It was one of those things we were just kind of let's cuddling. It's like, let's call Netflix and just watch Django. Just lay it in the bed just like that. You know, it was really nice.
That's cute.
It was, but I also did go to this Black Lives Matter thing. I wanted to find out what this Black Lives Matter is down here in Broward County.
Right.
I had no idea. So I went and just kind of hear them talk. And I went to this church, and it was in combination with the church. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to give the name, but let me tell you something. I walked off pissed.
Yeah.
I walked off so pissed. I told everybody about it. Because it was making it as though it was just a black issue. Mm-hmm. And it really pissed me off. I'm thinking to myself, and the minister, check this out, was Latino.
Yeah.
The minister was Latino, so how in the world? You know, I was like, and there was several white clergy there were several clergy in throughout the crowd, but it was also white clergy. Guess who just happened to leave early? They all happened to leave early. I got other things to do. It was just, and then I'm looking at the minister. I'm thinking myself. I'm looking at the Black Lives Matter, and what I got most about that is the fact that they were really helping people in general. Mm. We're talking about the homeless. They're really the softer version of Black Lives Matter in our county.
I think that gets ignored though. Like,
because it don't make news. It doesn't make news.
That doesn't make news. Helping the community.
It don't make no damn news, so ain't nobody gonna listen to it. But it was actually something I wanted to see for myself. Right. So I thought this particular Black Lives Matter movement was very watered down because they really seem to want to help people. Right. But I think they do it in still ancient time way. Just disrupting people's day don't really make changes. Right. Sorry, we ain't living in that time no more. But I appreciate what the young girl is being a part of. She's actually a community organizer. But afterwards, I went to a minister, because, the minister came to me because they always introduce each other. Yeah. The minute somebody
he saw your face?
Yeah.
He saw you making faces.
I had the ugliest face just looking at it. And so I went to get ready to leave, haul ass, basically. And he stopped me. Hey, Chris, is it? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, he took my hand and shook it. So, what'd you think? And so I'm like, this man ain't going to really want to hear what I think, but I'm going to give it to him anyway. I said, you know what? I really felt pissed majority of the time. I said 70% of the time I was pissed, 30% of the time I appreciated some information because it was some great value. Mm-hmm. But he said, why? I said, well, you made it seem like it was just strictly a black issue. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? Let me give you a little bit of history. When Hitler got done with all the Jews, guess who he went after next? The first thing that came out of his mouth, guess what it was?
Go for it.
Gays.
Yeah.
Gays, Muslims, you know, and all this other ill, clean people.
Right.
I said, no, Germans. Mm-hmm. He looked at me like, what? And I said, you don't understand. Hitler figured out that it's going to be a really big expense to maintain all of these lives. Yeah. So in order to do so, he had to kind of kill a few Germans off too. He didn't know what the fuck to say to me. He had nothing to say. And so he said, I didn't know that. I said, I know you don't. A lot of your congregation and your ministers don't either.
Yeah.
But, and walked off. Because I was just so infuriated. I just didn't want to. It's like you just can't. And I said, but I did leave him one question. Say you get all rid of all the black people right now. Can you really be an oppressor and stop oppressing?
No, you can't.
Exactly.
They'll find somebody new to oppress.
Bingo. And that's what they didn't think about. That's what made me upset. But I said I had to see it for myself. I gave the opportunity. Done. So that was it. Right. So nobody can say I didn't actually take the opportunity to actually go support other causes and see what's going on. But anyway, that's enough of that. So let's move on to Brothaspeak Culture Moment. This is where we actually talk about several events that's going on in today's world and things that interest us. You probably heard, you probably didn't. And damn it, you can hear us from here first, you didn't. So I'm going to let Darnell take over from there. Go ahead, Darnell.
I have a question for you.
What?
We'll start with this. How do you personally feel about HBCUs and the NAACP as organizations, their existence? Oh, Chris is rolling his eyes. Okay. I want to hear this.
Oh, okay. You're talking about. Okay, again, I'm a lover of history. I tell you all the time. There is a history of the NAACP. It was meant for one thing.
Okay, the question. Okay,
bullshit.
The real question is: do you think they should still be around now?
No.
No.
Well, correction. You know why? Because you know why I don't say they should be around now? Because it's still the old way of thinking that's in there. And the thing about it is, that's a very long history. But the thing about it is, you would think you would see a little bit more of them during this entire process, but you hear nothing of them. That tells me something.
That's a good point.
That's a good point. Wrong.
All right, I was about to call you Wendy Williams, but I won't. Did you hear about what she said?
Oh, hell yeah!
You heard what she said?
Oh yeah. I'm glad, but she got dinged for that.
She did.
Yes,
she lost her sponsorship with Chevy.
Damn right. I'm glad.
They didn't like. And for listeners who don't know what she said, let me read some of what she said.
Ooh, please.
This was after Jesse Williams' speech at the BET Awards, right?
Yep.
Which was a great speech.
Yes, it was. It really was.
I thought it was really fantastic. I think it'll go down in history. Like he was. I like that he was very to the point.
Yes, he was.
But
he's
here's
also a teacher.
Yeah, he's also a teacher. He's a very smart guy. He's not just pretty.
He is cute.
Yeah, he is cute. This is what Wendy said. His speech was very poignant. On the other hand, I would be really offended if there was a school that was known as a historically white college. You mean like Harvard? Let me continue. We have historically black colleges. What if there was a national organization for white people only? There's the NAACP.
Not really knowing the history. That's
the problem.
See, when you don't know history,
the thing is, she does know the history.
She
has family that's gone to HBCUs.
Really?
Yes, her father, her brother.
Whoa!
Yes.
I didn't know. Okay, see,
she's just
trying to appeal to the white audience. That's what it boils down to.
We're trying to be controversial. I don't know.
She's trying to appeal to the white audience.
Right.
She knows who's keeping her on the show. She knows the fact that. And by the way, first off, let's keep this shit straight. The people who was actually watching her ass, listened to her in New York, and everybody else. It wasn't the white audience who captured.
Not.
It was the black audience. Exactly. And not only that, but I think Mr. Rowland actually had to correct her ass very well.
He did. He went on her show too.
He did.
He went on her show and he like went down the history of black people in this country.
She invited him to the show?
Yeah.
Where was this?
She was acting like a 20-year-old blonde girl. Like she was like an airhead.
I'm
sorry to all the blondes out there.
She is.
She can be. Yes. I think you don't get that successful without being a little bit smart. Smart.
That's true.
However, she can be very ignorant.
Oh, big time.
Big time.
Huge.
So he went on her show and he educated her to the history of black people in this country. And he boiled it down to the fact that essentially black people have not been free to be citizens of this country only since 1970.
Wow.
You think about that in the history of this country, that's a blip.
Damn.
It's no time at all.
Oh my
Not even
God.
60 years. Like, that's nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what did she say? What was her response? I had to know that.
Not even 50 years. Her response was just like, she kind of just let him talk. She did eventually say, I was wrong.
Yeah, you lost something.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
You lose something.
She was mad about that money.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I was wrong because you know what? You had to.
Yep.
Listen, I'm not into that put the fire out, extinguishing type of public relations bullshit.
Right.
And don't think that nobody is going to be able to see through that.
Exactly.
I see through it. A lot of people see through that shit because you lost something.
If she hadn't lost any money, she wouldn't have said a word.
She would have said a goddamn word. You know what? Whatever, Wendy.
Whatever. Anyway, Wendy. On to somebody else. I was going to say something mean. But did you hear about Shaka Khan?
No.
No, you didn't hear about Shaka?
No.
It turns out that she is addicted to... She and her sister entered drug rehab. For addiction to prescription drugs. And do you know what prompted her to do that?
What?
Prince dying from yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So she says, unfortunately, I will miss several concert appearances over the summer. However, it's vital that I put my health and well-being first. I know that I'm disappointing some of my fans, but I also know that they would want me to recover and be well and happy. Khan has entered an intensive rehabilitation and aftercare program with her sister, Yvonne Stevens, also known as Taka Boom.
Taka Boom?
Yeah.
Did you see the Mickey Howard story?
No.
Apparently, which I... Shaka Khan's history of drugs has been very, very much so. My parents would tell me about Shaka Khan's history. But the movie Mickey Howard, I knew Mickey was into drugs, but I did not know she was taking it with Shaka Khan. And Shaka Khan were like drug sisters.
Yeah.
I mean, it was to the point where there was one particular scene where Mickey Howard was just out of it. Shaka was dumped her ass in the shower, slapping her around and everything like
serious?
that. That's how they were deep into it.
Was it 70s, 80s?
No, Mickey Howard was in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, around that time. And the thing about it is, I mean, because anybody who knows Mickey Howard knows that she sings songs like "I've been up and I've been down." She also "Ain't Nobody Like You." There you go. She also said "I'm in Love Under New Management." She did some really good songs, but her voice. Nice try.
I think I know that.
Nice
song.
try. But her voice was just good. But I did not know how deep in the drugs and abusive relationships she was in too. But I mean, yeah, Shaka Khan was her ride or die.
Wow.
Shaka Khan. And guess who plays Shaka Khan?
Who?
Her daughter.
Oh, really?
Her daughter.
Did she look? She looks like her. Obviously,
well, she does look like her. Yeah. But it was like, whoa. She played Shaka Khan.
I didn't know that about Shaka.
Yeah, she just recently. It was on TV1.
TV1, yeah.
TV1. They're really good about their shows, their documentaries and stuff like that. It's really good. Really
Best
good.
of luck to her, honestly.
Jeez. Well, you know what? That happens a lot. My last relationship was he admitted he used to take a lot of drugs, and then he replaced it with a prescription drug.
Yeah.
That prescription drug he wound up becoming addicted to too. And he had to wean himself off of it. I'm very proud of him, but definitely took some time.
Wow. Yeah, that's rough. I've never personally dealt with someone who was a drug addict.
But guess what? The drug companies know that. Yeah. And I'm not moving. I'm stopping from that there. Stop right there.
Conspiracy Chris. Conspiracy theory Chris. We need to come with like a CCC. Conspiracy theory Chris corner or something. All right. No, but you have a point. Anyway, moving on. Did you know that Angie Stone was part of a rap group?
Oh, no, yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Angie Stone, she was, matter of fact, if you actually remember, she played on the R&B Divas.
Yeah.
They talked about that, her history. But they also did many TV1, I'm sorry, TV1 did one about her. She was in a rap group.
Yeah.
She was in a rap group.
Was it like Unsung?
Yeah, it was an Unsung, yeah. She was in there. But honestly, she has a great history, a very steady history in the music industry, but she did start originally hip-hop. Yes.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
And apparently she was pissed that most people didn't know that she was part of a hip-hop group.
You now getting pissed?
Yeah. Because
shut up. really good.
Well, what happened was last week they had the Hip Hop Honors, and it was dedicated to the women of rap.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So they honored Queen Latifah, Lil' Kim.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
It was great.
Eve was there. She hosted. Eve's gorgeous.
Eve stays beautiful.
She looks the same age as she was in like 1999. Like,
that girl
it's
knows
crazy.
Like, when you married to a billionaire.
And now she's married to money. Yeah. Oh my god.
You can stay good looking, right?
I mean, she's got the Mariah Carey thing going on.
She can turn a gay man to,
but maybe. You know, there are rumors about her back in the day.
I heard. Yeah. I'm sure there is. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Andy Stone was not happy that they didn't honor her group from the 70s that no one really remembers.
I'm sorry. I mean, listen. Okay, mind you, does she have a point to a degree? Yes. Should you be extremely upset? I mean, the most of the women that actually have been honored, they made a big success. There's a lot of people who can argue the same exact thing, who probably did very well within their community, but not merely made it on a broad stroke like the entire U.S. or the industry. So, listen, your career at this stage, people can be able to talk more about. But just because of the fact that you started one way,
exactly.
Sorry to tell you.
It's like you made your name.
It's like you made your name
singing R&B.
And you made, and that's great.
You know? And that's fantastic. I mean, she's incredibly talented. Don't get me wrong.
You've had to make a big, broad stroke. Listen, there's a lot of women that Queen Latifah honored. I remember because they used to play the videos on Yo and TV Raps, honoring women and everything. You listen, I mean, sorry, you're not that prevalent.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what.
So that's the world turns. Matter of fact, all you should be saying is, I am proud that they honored the women of hip hop. I like to think that I kind of made my little impact, but unfortunately, but you know what? I'm just very happy with a lot of women. Say something like that. People look at you better.
Right. Don't act so.
You coming like egotistical.
Yeah,
Shut
exactly.
Up. It's like.
And to wrap it up and to keep it, I guess I'm doing this one solely women. Okay. This culture moment. I want to give a shout out to Serena Williams.
Yes, she won.
She won her 22nd Grand Slam.
She's tied up with Steffi Graf.
Yo, she's the greatest athlete in history.
Holy shit!
That is fucking phenomenal.
I mean, there's nothing you can say.
She's beautiful too. She's like a beautiful person,
brick house.
Inside and out. She has a great personality.
Yes, she is.
She's just. Like she deserves it.
I think
it's well deserved.
And also to basically, I think she won the Wimbledon match with her sister when they were doing doubles.
Yeah,
yeah. I think that's a wonderful thing.
I think that's fantastic.
I think it's.
Can you imagine being their parent or something?
I would. Listen, I would be
amazing with that.
Fanatic right now that my daughter made that.
That my kids are at that status
and at equal. And you can pull their names up. You can say that's my daughter.
Exactly.
And we make history all the time, don't we?
We do constantly. But one last thing, I want to just say, thoughts and prayers to her father. He suffered a stroke this past week. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Thoughts and prayers. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you, Darnell, for that. So now we move into our main topic. All right. Here's the thing. When it came down to hip hop, we have had tons of stories about hip hop for years. We have seen documentaries in terms of gay people in hip hop, the controversy, who's in, who's out.
Right.
And let me tell you something. The reality is we wanted to kind of find out a little bit more in terms of where all this started, first off.
Right.
A lot of things within hip hop, a lot of people just don't talk about anymore. That's why you got to really kind of pull back the layers and kind of find out where is this gay thing within hip hop?
Where was the needle thread? Like where did it come from? And the reality is they were there the whole time. Mm-hmm. To kind of start off a little bit of the story, to kind of start off gay people in general. Okay, some information I pulled up. Information pertaining to, because back in the day it was illegal. Remember, it was very much illegal to be gay. Yes.
And to also, matter of fact, there was tons of research that shows that they used to break up parties. They used to bust down doors in their homes. And this particular party, because the only way that people felt free was actually in their homes, not the clubs back in the day. But because it was illegal, cops would come down, bust people down, arrest people, etc. So I found a little history pertaining to gay people and music management. Is very, very thick. Apparently, not just within music, but also the acting world.
Yeah. Because
keep in mind, the only jobs, especially in Britain, the only jobs you could have as if you were gay was a hairdresser and work in the theater.
Yeah.
It was obvious.
We're very creative people.
And let me tell you, somebody said, I'm going to manage groups. I'm going to manage rock and roll groups. And rock and roll became very big by gay managers.
Really?
Then, go a little bit further back.
Yeah.
Actors. Now, of course, Hollywood, everybody
you had
knows.
your Rock Hudsons,
It was, but guess what? Yeah. They had to be managed by somebody. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Right. A gay manager was signing up all of them, signing them to deals and everything. They knew all who the gay people was.
Yeah.
I was just watching this documentary pertaining to, I believe his name was Hunter.
I know he was in a John Waters movie.
Yes.
He was in, I forgot the one, but it's like, it was Divine, and she was a housewife who was drinking, and her husband was cheating on her, of course. And then she met him, and he turns out he's, well, let me not spoil it. Because I was shocked.
It is definitely on Netflix. I want people to know that it is definitely on Netflix.
Yeah.
But when I saw that documentary, kind of exposed Hollywood a little bit more as well.
Right.
A lot of people really didn't understand how far gay men really were, how gay men really were in the entertainment business overall.
Right.
Now, when you look at those particular things, you kind of say to yourself, and by the way, they were working with very big machines. We're talking about Warner Brothers. We're talking about all the major labels. We're talking about all the major movie companies at the time. Tab Hunter.
Yeah.
And when you look at all of those things, you kind of say they were already in the big machines already. Mm-hmm. They were a part of creating those big entities that we know and the companies that we know that basically introduced many of the artists that we know and love.
Right.
When you look at hip-hop, though, hip-hop started very small, independent labels. They did
in the
not,
Bronx.
I'm
from the Bronx.
In the Bronx. They started in those days.
Yeah.
But they started with small labels, Ma and Pa. Hip hop and hip all that stuff. Now, when they was actually starting, they were starting, believe it or not, rapping over a lot of beats, including disco. At one particular point, they called it disco rap. But here's the thing. A lot of the black people at that particular time, they felt that disco music was a little bit too fast.
Really?
They couldn't really rap over them, but they saw the transition. They saw where they were capable of using disco music, but it just was too fast for them, and they felt it was too gay. Early stages of it then. So now you kind of get those labels who really are not major labels because the major labels did not know how to handle what was about this rap thing.
Right.
They didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop right there. Just kind of give a piece of history pertaining to the beginnings of it.
Right.
Even though there's a lot more that I'm going to share a little bit. But first off, starting right there. If I got my house made already. Mm-hmm. And my house has Liberace as a picture. It has solid gold couches. It has a sink that may look a little bit peculiar. It was all these things. You're walking into my house. Am I going to change my house because you walked in there?
Nope.
And I think that's how rap music really came into basically a lot of gay influence already there. Because a lot of those big labels, they already knew the directors, creative managers, the artists, people who did all those creative things that involve in creating this art. Right. A lot of gay people were already in it.
Right.
They were already in it. I didn't know LL Cool J's manager was gay, ex-manager. At the very first beginning of their career, that manager was gay. So the amount of influence that we already had was tremendous.
Right. Just by being there.
Yeah. So now you got hip-hop over here. Mm-hmm. Small labels. Now people start to kind of catch the wave and say, wait a minute, especially with rappers you like. Mm-hmm. We can make money off this.
Yeah.
We can make money off this now. Small labels in New York were starting to branch off, but guess what? Also, just like bigger labels, small labels screwed people over too.
Yep.
So guess what? Someone just said, you know what? I want to switch this up. I want to go somewhere else. And guess what? That's when the labels was actually kind of open because they're now seeing the power in which they played in the media, in music. I mean, Rappers Delight went international, but several others went international as well. So everybody wanted their latest thing, a rapper. Let's get a rap group and put.
And here's the thing: mainstream becoming part of it. These large music groups getting into rap is what sort of pushed it to be more homophobic.
Explain.
Yeah, that's what I found.
Explain.
There was a golden rule to hip hop back in the day.
Okay.
And it was peace, love, unity, and having fun, calling women queens and men kings. However, the emergence of mainstream corporate rap in the late 80s led to a shift in the hip hop culture. It became so that gay bashing and women trashing became part of the lexicon. So it's like,
and what you said, late 80s?
Yeah, huh? The late 80s.
I got something for you on that one.
Yeah.
Keep going.
That's kind of where the transition came.
Keep going. Yeah, go
and
ahead.
I think that was to appeal to the mainstream. You know, you don't speak well of women. This is supposed to be gangster rap, right? Because it wasn't so gangster back in the day.
No, it was not. It was not.
It wasn't.
Gangster. It was very much so about the community.
Exactly.
It was very much about the community.
It was about self-expression.
Exactly. And a lot of people, if you really think about it, how much attention would you really grab? Now, mind you, they were grabbing attention because they saw fashion with it. They saw dancing with it.
Right.
So that was a part of these street kids wanting to basically put their voice out there.
Right.
And basically they're saying we want to be able to have our creativity in this too, but yet we want people to hear what we have to say.
Right.
So I love the fact that they were standing up and they were doing it in a creative way. There was no fighting.
Yeah.
If you wanted to fight, you did it in break moves. Just, you just started
some break dancing.
Like you started really getting into. You want to.
Yeah. You did the dozens or something. Like you just curse each other out with some rap lyrics. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you. I mean, especially when you watch things like Kumo D. Especially he killed Busy Bee. Yeah. It was about the artistry. It was about really slaying something with your words, but as well as also bringing awareness for people.
Exactly.
And it was an entirely different thing. But the gays at that time, there was big money to be made in gays. Yeah. Because of the fact that at that time, gay people were also looking, believe it or not, for that exact same freedom that black people were looking for too. And they found it in the clubs. They found it in those particular outlets.
Exactly.
And those outlets were starving for, people to come and service to them. To say, hey, talk about me and let us have fun. Because at that time, the movement was in, just simply pouncing up and down the streets. Right. Of course, you have Stonewall that already occurred. You had several other pride events was actually starting to occur around that time too. So everyone wants to be heard from every segment of the world. Exactly. Everyone wants to be heard. So gay people at that time started in management. From management, they gained wide popularity. Wide popularity. And even in direction, rock and roll in particular, rock and roll had its influence from the blues.
Yeah.
Now, there was something I found out.
From the blues.
Well, let me tell you something. This is something I found out when it came down to the blues, because a lot of people really don't speak of the history, and a lot of rock groups will actually talk about their history within being influenced with the blues. So black people, again, we everywhere. We influence everybody.
Jazz,
and by the way,
jazz and the blues are truly American creations, and they were made by who? Black people, right?
In the South, Baton Rouge, and those. Yes, they were. And one particular quote I want to kind of read real quick. It was actually from The Guardian, and The Guardian was first off, I truly do respect The Guardian because The Guardian really does speak about a lot of facts that actually happened during that particular time. And one particular gay writer, he wrote something pertaining to the history of blues. And so let me just read this real quick. As a critic, John Savage points out, even rock and roll's very roots, the blues, contain a weird gay subculture. The genre was home to songs such as George Hanna's Freakish Man Blues, Louis Russell's The New Call of the Freaks, and Coco Arnold's Sissy Man Blues. Really? I woke up this morning with my pork grinding business in my mind, offers Arnold, adding, Lord, if you can't send me no woman, please send me some sissy man.
Oh, wow.
The thing about it is, how many people can honestly say that they were influenced by the blues as well as also influenced by rock and roll? They were all being influenced, hip-hop included. That marriage between Run DMC and Aerosmith, you really thought that was by accident?
No.
It was done because practically they're really the same thing. Punk came derived at that time, and of course, blues rock. But they wound up creating such a big machine, such as rock and roll. But also, if you really kind of look at the birth of rock and look at the birth of hip hop, it's practically the same thing. It's really the same thing. So to have them married.
You know what's fascinating? Like hip hop is still like Drake, for instance. He does hip hop, right?
Mm-hmm.
He does, sop hop, whatever you want. I don't know. But anyway, he's at the top of the charts, and he's been at the top of the charts for like 9 weeks now. Mm-hmm. You can't say the same thing about rock. Hip hop
has replaced rock now.
It has,
but think about
it's not. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere. It's not waning.
It's not waning because of the fact that a lot of people really feel, and this is the sad part. And by the way, gay people are very good at hiding truth too. So we could be all up in the gay and hip hop and everything like that, but we will never speak about it because we hold those secrets. It's money being made. Why do I want to disrupt it?
Right.
A lot of people take on that. Why do I want to disrupt this?
Why do I want to disrupt it with my gayness?
Right,
because I think that's what those executives that you're talking about, the ones who used to be in charge, they didn't want to be out and proud. They wanted to make their money.
Listen, who discovered Whitney Houston?
What's his name?
Clive Davis.
Clive Davis, thank you.
Clive Davis. He knew many executives were gay. He himself did not come out, but he also said himself in an interview, I believe on ABC, that he said, I never really, felt like I really wanted to be with a man, but it just hit me. Like one day I just let me sleep with the guy. And I'm like, that was kind of an odd interview, but he actually admitted that. It's on national television. And this is Clive Davis, one of the guys who created, and by the way, had a very strong influence also in hip hop, if we remember. Clive Davis was also part of many R&B groups. He actually created many hip-hop groups. We got to look at that, too. Wow. The gay people were definitely a part of every aspect. So, again, independent, you walk into a big household, that wheel and machine is already going. Mm-hmm. And the people involved to make that money keep running. You're walking in here. Do you really think they're going to change because of you? No. Now, I'm not going to say, and here's something else that was also spoken. A lot of the hip-hop artists at that time did go to jail. Mm-hmm. Now, according to one particular rapper...
Jail and gay people. Yeah, go ahead.
You see where I'm going with this, right? One particular rapper said, jail is like Vegas. Mm. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in jail stays in jail.
Yeah.
But maybe not so.
No, not all of it does.
Because some people...
Why do you think all these boys wear their pants halfway down their ass?
Listen, say what you...
They don't even know.
They don't even know the reasons. They have
no idea.
The thing about it is, though, a lot of rappers will never... And some rappers will, behind closed doors with their closest friends and comrades, because some of them comrades have also had a little taste of something different.
Right.
Will not necessarily admit, but when they finally get behind closed doors, there was one particular executive... I'll just call his name, well, never mind, I won't. But the executive actually was in a confrontation, or I should not say confrontation. It was actually the one particular rapper had a confrontation with another rapper, and gay came up. So executive comes to the door. What's the problem? Because he heard this commotion. He was like, man, this nigga gay. He's like, well, what you talking about, gay? He said, you talking about when you in prison and shit? He's like, whoa. You mean tell me you ain't never did nothing in prison? That's exactly what this executive said. And it was almost like common.
Right.
So now let's add it all together. You have a big machine being managed by gay people all around, creativity. There was tons of times, even the designer of your clothes, many of them were what?
Gay, of course.
Come on.
God.
So they got gay people everywhere in the industry.
Yeah.
Then you got some people who've done a few things in jail that they really don't want to admit to because they know their culture, how the culture accepts it.
Right.
And then you look at the beginnings of it and how it always just kept intersecting with, if it was a rock and roll, it was disco. If it was a disco, it was something. It always kept intersecting. Do we really look at hip-hop and say, oh, it was inevitable that this was going to occur?
Yeah.
It was going to occur.
Right.
That was the whole point. But guess what? They also saw the money.
Right.
Let's not forget that money. The money was a huge rolling machine.
Exactly.
And there's one particular article that I did pull up. I was talking about this one group. They came directly from Europe. Now, mind you, this group wasn't hip-hop. But they were actually truly embraced the gay culture. They wanted to hit the gay circuit like no other. Europe, this European band, Europe got it. They're like, oh no, we got to go hip hop the gay clubs.
Right.
Because at this stage, and I think it statistically shows that when it comes to gay people, they expect you to cater to them.
Yeah.
They expect you. Not the fact that income shows that they're any higher or anything like that to more people, even though I do believe gay men, income-wise, are higher. Why?
Because we have more expendable cash. Expendable income. Yeah.
Because of the fact that we have no kids.
Right.
Most we have a dog, maybe two. Maybe
and unfortunately, a lot of people aren't close to their family.
Exactly.
So you don't have parents to take care of or anything.
Bingo. Yeah. So when you start looking at those factors, they do have expendable cash to be able to celebrate with. And by the way, they expect for you to cater to them just as much. And all those singers, R&B, hip hop, and everybody else, they love that gay money.
They are sustained by gay men. And like we were talking about Deborah Cox a few weeks ago.
Yes.
Would Deborah Cox be getting any club performances if it weren't for us?
That song is 20 years old.
I know. I love that song, by the way.
It is there.
Nobody's supposed to be. But who would be calling her?
Thank you.
Like, she's not getting called by a straight club. They don't want to. No. They're like, no, we want who's ever singing now. That's who we want. Yeah.
But gay people will keep your ass alive.
We will keep you in. We will keep your ass busy forever.
They will repeatedly go back to those same places that they spoke so badly of.
Yeah.
So now it got to the point that a lot of these artists didn't really want to speak. Now it's at that level to where they don't want to speak so badly of.
Right.
You're now getting a slow diminish of, I love everybody. I know what. But you know why, right? Because the gay influence within the music industry is so prevalent. They can be able to kill your career in seconds.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of people that actually control the networks that your videos get displayed, gay.
A lot of them.
A lot of people
that executives up there.
Listen. Even when I was my small little stint working within music promotion down here in Miami, the amount of gay people I came across in the retail stores at that time, and keep in mind, there's no retail stores, but now you got Amazon and shit like that. Yeah. But at that time, you had all record stores, and guess who was in charge of those record stores? The gay people.
Yeah.
And I never forgot this one interaction I had. And back then, what they called you do things on consignment. If you're independent labels, you did things on consignment. There's a certain amount of CDs that you purchase, and they'll give you a small amount of space to put because they know the local market.
Yeah.
So I walked in. Oh my God, how are you? Oh my God, I love local music. This is a gay white man.
Yeah.
I love local gay. I don't care what anybody says. I am the one that controls this. So if you guys want, what I can do, I can like certain amount on consignment. I understand how it works. I've been doing this for years. You put a small amount in here, okay? And I will say about 12. We'll see how it moves. We'll see how it goes, and we'll just take. But I love local music. Oh my God. You'd be quite surprised. The people that I came into the industry that are gay.
Yeah.
And they were white. Check that out, too.
Yeah.
But they loved local talent.
Most of the executives they're white gay men.
Exactly. So now you're coming across a whole different... Let me tell you, the history...
Why do you think Eminem apologized to Elton John?
Say what you want. Let me say
think his feelings changed? No.
And guess what? I mean, I'm pretty sure his feelings
didn't change. He saw where his money was going.
But bingo. And I'm not going to sit and say that nobody in the radio station was gay. Matter of fact, I'm going to go as far as to say I'm not even sure the number of people who actually started off in these hip-hop groups weren't necessarily bisexual in nature, or maybe because they were introduced to it while they were in jail, or I don't know. I mean, we just saw a couple of people getting caught, but we'll talk about that
We'll talk about that next week.
But the reality is, we managed the Beatles. We managed Tommy Steele. We managed LL Cool J. We managed so many prominent artists that we know and love today, and that has actually played a part in changing the music industry. I don't think anybody has anything left to say at this point. But it's just the fact that, to me, it was expected.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. I don't know what you think. What do you think?
No, I think it was. One thing I found interesting in my research is how, with the thug rap, from the early 90s, like NWA, you know, Dr. Dre, Ice-T, you know, all those guys, how they got into it. And they, like, a number of their songs were saying, like, a real message, like, you know, fuck the police, like, all that shit. But they also got really homophobic and really misogynistic. And I was reading that part of that was, like I was saying earlier, to appeal to the larger audience, to represent this thug life.
Of course, absolutely.
To perpetuate this ideas of black masculinity and how we should be and all this stuff. And, you know, it's just funny how the idea of rap got warped into something largely negative. Exactly. Which is why the majority, like, for a long time, the rap was very popular, but at the same time, you wouldn't have people say, "Oh, I love rap." Like, it would be like a underground thing. Like, you wouldn't, like, white kids wouldn't be like, "Oh, I love rap." Yeah, they'd be the weird kid if they liked rap.
Exactly,
right?
exactly,
you know?
Exactly.
Like what's that song? Pretty Cool for a White Guy.
What?
You remember the song? No. Pretty Cool. I don't know. This is a stupid song.
Wait a minute. Was that rock band singing that song?
Yeah,
I know you're talking about. Okay, yeah.
And he was really into rap, and that was seen as, like, embarrassing.
Yeah,
you know.
Remember that.
But I just think that's fascinating that the corporate culture got its hands in it and changed it into this really negative representation of black people.
Let's look at the wardrobe. Let's go back in the wardrobe for just a quick little bit. Yeah. Now, some of the people say, you know, when doing the research for this, a lot of the people say, well, keep in mind, Chris, you know, that the wardrobe was actually more influenced due to, at that time, you look at Earth, Wind, and Fire. You look at all those funk bands. They had those tight-ass clothes and everything.
Yeah.
I really tried to find out who designed the funk bands. Because I'm serious. I tried my best, and I'm going to find it because all those bands were very skin tight, very girlish in many ways. Right. And to me, I'm thinking to myself, but we wore it with a different way of wearing it. It's how you wear it, not it wearing you. And I saw that, and hip hop started out the exact same way.
A lot of fringe.
A lot. It was. And I mean, now everybody will look back and say, well, look at, now, of course, black people are very critical. They look at your hand movement, look at what you wear. But back in those days when they were wearing that, it was not considered to be gay.
Exactly.
It's very weird to me. We looked at those bands now, and we looked like that band was good because we were listening to their music. But what they wore, that screamed.
It's like something happened in the 80s to where we went from, like, skin. Like, I've seen old pictures of, like, my dad and my cousins and my uncles back in the early 80s. They're wearing some skin tight pants. I'm like, how are y'all breathing? You go from that to, like, the late 80s, early 90s. Suddenly everything's baggy.
Yep.
Like, loose as hell. Everything's falling off you. You have shirts 2 times your size. It's like, what happened to cause that major shift in how we dressed?
Exactly.
I was just looking a little too gay.
Now,
you know, you can't look like J.J. Walker every day. You know, that's not socially acceptable. But then it came back into fashion.
Listen, okay. First off, now the Love Gaze is definitely making a shitload more money for you. As Lady Gaga.
Yes.
But you know what's also interesting? The fact that when it came down to people who actually try to give little hints, like Mr. Terrence Dean, who was a former executive of the music channel MTV. Yeah. And he wrote this book. He didn't really put out names, but it was like a puzzle. And I saw how the black media in particular were putting those puzzles together. And you know they came out, how many names they came out with just figuring it out. Yeah. And a lot of those people are executives that we know and that had an extremely hand in changing the music. Whether it was New Jack Swing music or any other type, I'm just throwing certain China. I'm not saying executive names. I'm just saying
names. Just name all their songs.
I'm just saying that the movement that was in that particular time. But it's just funny how people started putting the puzzle together. Yeah. Now it's very known, of course, people who are in the industry. Well, let me backtrack. One particular rapper did say, he said that let's look at it from another realistic standpoint. You see and taste the good life within hip-hop. You're tasting it. You're on tour. You're making money. You're just basically everywhere. Now, an executive comes to you, and I'm not saying that there's not been abuse within from gay men. But guess what? I'm not going to say there wasn't abuse even from straight men.
Of course there was.
Abuse is abuse of power.
Right.
Abuse of power.
Right.
I'm not going to, because we always hear about the casting couch, right?
Right.
But what do we hear about I've heard tons of things about the music industry. Somebody slept with a bunch of this person to get a contract.
Right.
But what about men in particular?
Yeah, you don't hear much about that.
No
one wants to talk about that.
And the thing about it is, one particular rapper said, if you know that you are continuing to make a lot of money in one particular way, and doing all your music and doing on the tours and everything, but someone comes along, because by the way, at this particular point, you know how it is to be living a good life, but you also know damn well how it is to live the bad life. Right. You know how it is to be poor. Who want to go to that? So just a hypothetical thing. If you see the good life over here going to the most best places, and by the way, having the best at that time, coke, weed, and everything you want to do, everything is at your disposal. And then you come across this particular executive that may say, hey, you know what? We can keep it going.
Yeah.
You mind coming to my house a little bit?
Yeah, if you want to get where you want to go.
Now, mind you, we're also talking about very poor kids at that time.
Yeah.
Poor kids coming into this industry, and they're looking at what they were coming from, and now they're looking at what they're looking forward to.
Right.
How many of them made different decisions?
Yeah.
That also was something of some of the accusations that someone were saying. Someone were saying, look, some people are asking me out of the same sex. It's dark in every portion of the entertainment business overall.
Yeah.
Music, acting, I don't care what it is. So to possibly say that they were not part of that, I'll be stupid to say no, that we had no parts of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you normally hear it anyway.
Yeah.
Take gay out the situation. You hear it anyway. Yeah. How many people on those casting couches?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time.
Everything.
But I never really thought about the idea of the gay executive, trying to.
It's one of those things. I'm not saying that happens in all cases. I'm
not in all cases, of course, but it's happened. It must have happened. It had to have happened.
Somewhere it has happened.
And it's just you have these same guys who go from doing that to get ahead to writing really homophobic lyrics.
Right.
So
it is a nice little something that people can really think about. Because with all the research I've been doing, basically we've already been there, but also some of the things I've been finding out is the fact that there was some type of choices to be made.
Right.
And a lot of people who actually been there and seen that light, they understand that there are some choices. And apparently there's 3 paths. 3 paths. You can go down the left, you can go down the right, or you can go straight down the middle on your own. Some people choose the right, some people choose the left, some people choose to go on their own.
Yeah.
So it just really depends. And by the way, it's those people who said they went on their own, they also had an independent label at that time to back them and protect them too.
True.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Some just research I'm just bringing up there,
A lot of legs to this thing.
Let me tell you, it gets a little bit. The more that I found out, one, like I said, I'm a lover of history, but I was very appreciative to kind of see that different perspective. Gay people have been in every single aspect, regardless of what, and they have also been persecuted in everything that you could just name up, just like a normal black man. So when you get that, but yet you always find out that we always come out. Black people come out, as well as also gay people. Things have not changed. Yeah. The creativity in many ways of looking at one particular, like you look at this door as a piece of wood. Some people look at this door as a lavish door that you can just simply open on both sides. It just open like it's a French door, and it just how you view things. Hip hop viewed music completely different, as a voice, as a sound off for revolution. Make things change.
It was revolutionary.
Gay people found their creativity within such a really persecuted way of living that you are arrested just for being who you are. They actually found creativity in many outlets, and music and the entertainment industry overall was one of them.
There is something about an oppressed people that brings out the best in them.
It really does.
That brings out their most creative side, their most like what's the word I'm looking for? The most, not subtle, but the ways you can express yourself,
yes,
it gets changed.
Yes.
It's not the typical way.
No.
Just like the way slaves expressed themselves through music.
Bingo.
The way they passed along messages through music.
Yeah.
The way they did that, they designed quilts with messages.
Exactly.
Like, it makes you more creative.
Exactly.
So I can see where, you know, being black and oppressed, being gay and oppressed, how that intersected to make, you know, hip-hop
exactly
kind of what it became.
Exactly.
That's
You know, I'm actually glad we actually kind of brought this topic up.
Yeah.
Because I think, now don't get me wrong, you know, there is going to be a part 2 of this.
Yeah.
Because I think we can go
I'd like to talk about it now.
Yeah.
Talk about it now, and also how do you and myself rectify being gay men and liking rap music that may contain homophobic lyrics.
You know what? Let me tell you something. With the music that I'm listening to, I see how music has changed through the years.
Yeah.
Of course, I have my understandings of how and why it's changed, because I've heard also in the early 90s that people found the correlation between hip-hop music and, well, prisons.
Yeah.
And there have been actually, the correlation has been made, but, and then also, you know, certain executives were pretty much requested to make it harsh, more uglier, more nasty.
Yeah. Make it blacker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I see how the reasons of why things have become the way they are. The reality is we don't necessarily have to take on any type of belief. I loved hip-hop from the beginning.
Right.
I loved hip-hop. Yes, did I have religious beliefs also? I was taught that was the devil's music. I was taught that rock was the devil's music.
Right.
I was taught that all parts, if it wasn't gospel, was the devil's music. And let's keep this real. We go back a little bit further. Gospel was not accepted by black people either in the beginning. If it wasn't right, it wasn't right. And so our acceptance of things, we've managed to move and budge when we think that we weren't going to.
Right.
This is one of them. Yeah. Hip hop and gay. Sorry to tell you.
Yeah.
It was bound to happen.
Yeah.
That's my opinion about it. I love hip hop. I don't like how some of the hip hop now is actually being portrayed a lot. I think a lot of it takes away the creativity.
Right.
It takes away the individuality.
Yes.
And I think it's just simply going with what's popular. Back in the day, I love Big Daddy Kane. I'm sorry.
You were able to hear, you know, the first line of a rap song. You knew who it was.
Exactly.
Now you listen, it's like, who's this?
Who the hell is this? You got
this Future, is this Panda? Who's this? I don't know. He sounds like he has a hernia though. I don't know what's going on.
No, but some of the rappers won't forget lyrics if it's done by a legendary artist. But anyway,
somebody saw hip hop. Yeah.
Some people, I don't know. Anyway, but. Listen, I love Big Daddy Kane. I love Drake. I love, of course, growing up, I loved Big Daddy Kane. I loved, who else? I thought Biz Markie was actually really good. He was very individual. Spring again. I love that shit. Yeah. And to see where it progressed, don't get me wrong, I knew Common when he was Common Sense.
Right.
So then he progressed a little bit further from there. I still love EPMD. I don't give a damn what nobody said. Yeah. And yes, I'm black and gay, and I still love that old hip-hop because I was there.
Right.
I was with them. I was with them. So why should I change anything?
Right.
But I see where it has progressed.
Yeah.
I see where it's progressed to talking about mostly about sex. And I hate to say it. I mean, some rappers, they hold as a big crown to talk about pussy, 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 and more pussy.
Yeah, they do that.
We know you. We know you're a male. Okay. I mean, that's fine. But is there anything else can you say?
I feel like the more money they make, the less they have to talk about. They don't have any struggles.
You know. I think you just hit it on the head. No more struggles.
You know, you got money. You're good. You're famous. People like you. You don't have to talk about how you're struggling because you're not.
Wow. All right, well, that's our show for today. So see us next week, and I hope we got to touch on some topics, give you a few things to think about. Like I said, we're going to bring this up again, but we're going to go a little bit deeper, and let's see what piece of information that you probably didn't know about. So, guys, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
See you next week. Bye.